Hey folks, hello, how you doing? Welcome to the Colors of Magic, and today, welcome to Deck Building 102, which we are going to do in Arena. One of the biggest problems you've got with deck building is, as a beginner, you're told some basic rules, three basic rules: 60 cards, 24 lands, 24 creatures, and 12 other cards such as planeswalkers, sorceries, instants, and enchantments. But also, as a beginner, you frequently lack the cards in sufficient numbers to put together a really decent deck. They say, again, the rules say a maximum of 4 cards at any time, but often you're just thinking with 1 or 2, not just a play set, which makes it more difficult to create a cohesive deck where the cards can synergize off each other. If you have one of a particular card and one of a particular card, let's say they work very well together, the chances you're having both are less likely than if you have 4 of each. But let's start with a set of cards which could be better and just see how we go about thinking about the deck. The first thing you need to do in deciding on a deck is to look at your win condition. I've got a deck I play quite a bit on Arena, which is quite a successful deck, and it relies on Ajani's Pridemate with Life Ramp. So let's start off there, and let's just have a look at what Ajani's Pridemate does. I'm going to put 4 in because we are going to be using this as the basis. Now look at that. You'll see that whenever you gain life, you may put a 1/1 +1/+1 count on Ajani Pridemate. And this, with the right cards working with it, can get insane very, very quickly. What are the downsides to Ajani's Pridemate? Firstly, it's a 2-drop, 1 and a white, so it can be taken out very quickly, and it lacks hexproof, it lacks indestructibility, it lacks flying. So we're going to look at how to remedy this in creating the deck. We will make decisions on, do we stay as a mono white? Do we splash another color? If we splash another color, which one? Why? How many lands should we include? But the first card I want to add to this is Ajani's Welcome. Now here, if you play out Ajani's Welcome, say turn 1, and then on turn 2 you play out Ajani's Pridemate, Ajani's Pridemate straight away becomes a 3/3. So you get the idea here, we're looking at cards that give us life, because they all boost the Ajani's Pridemate. Another great card in the current standard is Healer's Hawk. It's a bit like Sacred Cat, but it has flying as well as the lifelink which it shares with Sacred Cat. So again, when that attacks, you get a life that gets +1/+1. What other cards are useful here? There's one which comes in very cheaply, also 1-drop, Leonin Vanguard. And there, if at the beginning of your combat, in your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures, Leonin Vanguard gets +1/+1 until the end of turn, and you gain 1 life. So 1, 2, 3. You can see everything here is working around the idea of boosting the Ajani Pridemate. There's some other lovely cards which are in black, where if your opponent, you gain a life, your opponent loses a life. So there's perhaps another color we can think of, adding in black. But let's deal with one issue first before we decide to go with 2 or 3 colors. I will make a decision one way, you might make a decision another way. The only thing I believe is that if you make a decision, let it be a decision, not just, oh well, I have to fill the deck. Every card should have its place and its reason in the deck. So I want to look at some other cards we might think about using. Diamond Mare. Here, this is an artifact creature. When you come in the field, you choose a color. So here we would say choose white. Whenever you cast a spell of that color, you get a +1 life. There is Foundation of Renewal. Okay, I don't seem to have any of these in this deck. Just let's go and see. There. Shake the Foundation. Okay. That's a bit odd. If I've forgotten the name. Let's check, just check. Fountain of Renewal. Here again, an artifact. And you have it out there, and when beginning of the upkeep, you gain 1 life. So simply by starting a turn, you're gaining a life, which will ramp your Ajani's Pridemate. I'm going to put one in, and I'm going to use a second one. So I'm going to bring in... How can we deal with Ajani's issues surrounding flying and hexproof? Let's deal with the first one. A wonderful card in current standard is Shalai, Voice of Plenty. So you look at this. Planeswalkers you control, and other creatures you control have hexproof. So you bring it on the board. The only thing that doesn't have hexproof is Shalai itself. And that is a particular problem. It's a legendary, so you can't have 2 Shalais on the field at the same time to support each other. It's probably a good idea to have 2 Shalais in your deck just to increase the chances of your drawing it. Now if we can get Ajani to fly, that's going to be wonderful because it reduces the number of blockers it has. So we have cards there like on Sarah's Wing, and 1, 2, and you need to be careful with that. Notice what it says. On Sarah's Wing. Enchanted creature legendary. So if you have an Ajani Pridemate with that there, it becomes legendary. If you bring out another, it's a legendary enchantment, okay. So that does help. You can't have 2 legendary enchantments at the same time. In the same way you couldn't have 2 legendary Ajani's Pridemates. There is one other card in white that I'm thinking of. I don't quite remember its name. So we're just going to quickly run through it. It's not the On Sarah's Wings. We have things like this that can come in the short term, and we do need creatures, which is great. There's a Rock Charger as well, which really is very similar, in fact identical to that. And this is where, if you don't have a play set, it's sometimes possible to bring in 2 separate cards like this Pegasus Courser and Rock Charger, which together essentially form a play set, which is really, really helpful. So I'm going to bring in 2 Rock Chargers as well. There. So I'm not going to worry about thinking about a play set there. I just want to go forward because there is another card. Let's have a look. Angelic Reward. But now that's a 5-drop. It gets a +3/+3 and has flying. So it's really great, but at that cost, I tend to think of it more as a sideboard card. And we're not going to look at sideboarding in this video. We're going to look at it in a future video, probably using this deck. Sideboarding again at the beginning, one often just throws 15 cards into the sideboard just so you have a sideboard. But a sideboard is a really powerful tool. I was talking to someone at my LGS the other night, and she was saying her matches don't start until the second game because she's busy assessing what her opponent's doing, and then from her sideboard she brings in cards, and she has cards there that allow her to reduce the opponent's chances of winning next time. Very much controlling deck. So her game really starts when she gets the sideboard, and she plays a very powerful game. So I'm not going to worry about Angelic Reward right now. Just let's see what we have. We have 17 creatures, 8 non-creatures, and we have 24 lands. Right, I want to deal with one thing here. This July is the only thing, only creature that would not have hexproof if it comes in. So it becomes a target for your opponents because they can take out July, and then your creatures no longer have hexproof again unless they have as a natural ability. But there is a card here called Curator's Ward. And Curator's Ward, the enchanted permanent. When enchanted permanent leaves the battlefield, it was historic, draw 2 cards. Now, if you play this on the Shala obviously gets hexproof, so it can't be taken out by lightning strikes or whatever. But it has the added advantage, if this leaves the battlefield, it's because it's a legendary, you get to draw a card. So it serves a double purpose there. So I'll bring that in. Now the automatic feature in Arena is showing 2 lands, or 2 islands, which is not going to be sufficient. But we'll deal with that in a bit. 17 creatures, 10 non-creatures. I'm not happy with that, so what I want to do, I want to look at cards like Demystify. And that would bring in, say, 2 Demystifiers. And one of my favorite cards, Hieromancer's Cage. I can bring in, say, 2 of those. So now I'm at 14, which means 22 creatures. And to be honest, I really don't mind that at all. What creatures do we want to look at now? Just let's cut that to creatures white. And what we can do just very quickly is run into the end here and see whether there are any blue and white creatures which may have value. And we have, what do we have here? No, we're not really doing artifacts, so it's not going to have that much value. Yeah. Is all the Lawbringer? No. I don't think there's anything really there that we can go for. What other cards could we use? The Leonin War Leader is a great card in this situation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excuse me. It's a 4-drop. It's a 4/4. Whenever attacks, you create 2/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. They are tapped and attacking. And there's a huge value in that again. Think back to the lifelink here. So I'm going to keep those in. And that leaves me 1 creature short of an actual full deck. Remember, you can have more than 60, but it's not recommended. I'm not going to go into reasons for that, but if you, or not fully, but if you think that you're entitled to 4, Mentor of the Meek, okay, that gives me an idea here. I'm going to bring in 1 Militia Bugler. I would bring in 2 more into the sideboard. When it enters the field, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with power 4 or less and command it and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So that becomes pulls for things like Healer's Hawk, Leonin Vanguard, Ajani Pridemate. So that is where we're going with this right now. We're going to call it UW Ajani Demo. Now we need to resolve this land issue. Even though we only got those 2 cards, the chances of actually ever using them with 2 islands is not great. So I'm going to bring this down to at least 18. I'm going to just switch that, come to the islands, push that up to 6. And the other thing we can look at here is cards such as Rupture Spire, Gateway Plaza, and these cards will allow you to tap for cards of any color. So I'm going to bring in 2 Gateway Plazas there, and I'm going to reduce each of those by 1. So we should still be on 24 lands, 22 creatures, and I have a full set here. So just let's work through what the idea is in this. Switch back to the original one. I'm just going to switch off the lands item there. So, our idea here is to win around this. To boost it as rapidly as possible using lifelink from there, the advantage if I'm getting a creature in. And here, if you're attacking with more than 3 creatures, you get a life. Fountain Renewal, just by simply starting your turn, you get a life. Militia Bugler, you're only playing 1 of, but that will help you get a card from your library. There's a mana cost of 2, power of 2 or less. Pegasus Courser will, when detached, gives other creatures fly, as does Rock Charger. Curator's Ward is here primarily to back up the Shalai, which gives everything except itself hexproof. So Curator's Ward will give hexproof, but can also be used if necessary in other things. Union War Leader, very economical 4/4 drop, and it has the distinct advantage of creating the 2 1/1 tokens. Pyromancer's Cage, just a bit of control there. On Sarah's Wings, gives a creature +1/+1, flying, vigilance, and lifelink. So if you have a 2020 Pridemate, you can give it vigilance. And then we're dealing with some lands there. Those, and then just 2 Gateway Plazas in there for a little bit of flexibility. So just let's go ahead and play a game with this and see how it goes. It may not go all well, but I would argue that the principles are pretty much the same. UW Ajani Demo, play. And let's see how that goes. Able to find an opponent for me. Molochin. 2 planes, Fountain Renewal, Healer's Hawk. Not the cards I would ideally want right now. So I'm going to mulligan. Bit better. That I will keep. You'll see I've got the Johnny's Welcome and the Johnny's Primate combo in there. I hope that I ramp into some mana fairly quickly. I will keep that Rock Charger. There we are. A Johnny's Welcome. And nothing else to get an idea of how this starts just building up. Okay, Defender there. Bring in that. The Johnny's Primate. And because of now getting 1 life from the Johnny's Welcome, that gets... So already that Defender cannot block. It's a horrible defender, by the way, because it gets counters whenever a person's avails, and once it's got 3+1/+1 counters on it, there is nothing you can do. Combat. You can choose to block or not. You chose not to. Disinformation campaign. Your opponent, I discard a card. What will I discard? I will discard that. Great. Another creature comes in, or another land. Out comes the Rock Charger. This becomes a 4/4 now. And next turn, if this attacks, the Johnny's Primate will gain flying, but he has no lands, he's completely tapped out. There we are. Return to my hand. That's a distinct negative. But hey, worse things have happened. Another land comes in here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play this out first. I'll attack with the Rock Charger. It's just for 1, but you'll see my thinking next turn. I have to discard a card, so I'm going to discard the Hieromancer's Cage. And again, he's tapped himself out. So I think he's really not doing himself a great favour here. Now watch this. A Johnny's Primate comes in. There. I'm going to attack with everything. While you're watching this Johnny's Primate. This will get flying from the Rock Charger. I get 2 tokens coming in. I get a life for each of those tokens, which means that the Johnny's Primate is ramped to 5/5. These are going to attack. They've got life link. I'm going to get a +1/+1 there as well. So now I'm on to 28 life. I have a 7/7 and a Johnny's Primate that will get flying next turn, unless there's something which will return to destroy target creature. But he still has a huge number of problems. I'll play the Fountain Renewal. I'll play Militia Bugler. That's another 1/1 life. I can bring in a Healer's Hawk to play out the next time. But as far as I can see, there shouldn't be a next time. Because that will get flying. So it's 5 in the air, 3 on the ground, or 1 you can block. So I think that's a done game. And that's it. Thank you, Malachino. Mille grazie. So there we are. If the deck has been tried, it hasn't been found wanting, at least in that particular game. So folks, that is Deck Building 102. I hope this has been a help to you. In a future video, we're going to use this deck to look at sideboarding. Hopefully by then I may have a few more cards in my collection as well from this. And think about it. Primary rule. When you go, think about a win condition. At least one, if not 2 or 3. It's always useful to have an alternative condition to work on. Make sure that your cards all serve that purpose, or help cards that serve the purpose. So what I mean by that is Shalai, the greatest draft helps Shalai, which helps the purpose. So it still has that effect. It's those synergies that at the end of the day will create a great deck and help you win the game. So that's it from the Colors of Magic for tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like the link or the video down below, and please click on subscribe. Have a great time, folks, and may the cards always fall right for you.